We all believe our flaws are just negative thing or just the negative aspects about ourselves. But what if I told you that our flaws, as we all have them, if I can remind it to you, can be our biggest guider in how we can improve ourselves, in how we can understand ourselves, and in how we can even understand why we have them in the first place. And so, in this video, I'll help you understand why your flaws aren't as negative as you believe they are, why they're even beneficial for you, and the only problems with having flaws at the end of the day is you being conscious of them and not doing any progress to change them, to improve them, then understanding them, being conscious of them, and then making the work to be a better person and not implement those flaws into your life anymore. And even if sometimes you might go back to certain flaws, that you always remain conscious and aware on how to stop this behavior. Let's talk about where our flaws come from. They can be just part of who we are, natural temperament, characteristic of ourselves, or they can be things that we have developed as defensive mechanism through adaptations or things we have lived that we had to put this through to develop this flaw, this pattern, so that we can protect ourselves. So, our flaws don't appear randomly. They're either part of our wiring, our experiences, or the way we've learned to protect ourselves. So, a flaw is a part of you you haven't understood yet, developed, or mastered. They are showing you the direction in what you need boundaries in what you need healing in, self love in, what needs attention, and self awareness. Let's talk first about why we see flaws negatively, the psychological reasons. Flaws trigger old emotional wound. So every flaw we have reminds us of something that have made it develop it in the first place. Procrastination might remind you of being judged for not doing enough. People pleasing might remind you of the moments where love felt conditional. Perfectionist might be tied to feeling unsafe when you made a certain mistake. So our flaws feel heavier than they actually are because it is behind it. It is because it is emotionally charged from something we are scared to understand, from something we are scared to re experience on how this has made us now build this defensive mechanism, build this flaw to protect ourselves. And it is something vulnerable that a lot of us don't want to face, a lot of us don't want to be aware of. Who wants to be vulnerable or understand that they have developed a certain pattern, a certain flaw because of an experience they have went through? Practically no one, because it means you've got hurt in the first place, and that means that this is your protective mechanism. The second thing is society teaches us to perform, not to understand. And we cannot shame society because we are not there to be vulnerable, to be understood, to cry. We are there to mark our place, to get those jobs, to get those relationships, those friends. We have to bring value. And unfortunately, we're not going to bring value by crying, by being vulnerable, by trying to make people understand our flaws. So, society reward being well behaved, being talented, stable, controlled, beautiful. So we can be easily judged for being emotional, messy, doing mistakes, being slow, unsure. Because as we are as we are all out there, our biggest thing is that we always need to show ourselves in the best way possible. It's how we are wired to be. And So this can make us be scared of our own flaws because we are not in a society where we promote having flaws, where we promote that we are not perfect, because we always show ourselves being at our 100% best self. So this can make it even more vulnerable. But let me remind you guys, all of us are imperfect, all of us are flaws. It is just an illusion that we put out there. And it is not as much as a negative thing as we believe, because that's how we can get opportunities. That's how we can create a really valuable relationship. Another reason why our flaws feel heavier than our qualities. Let me give you guys an example. For example, our positive qualities, our good qualities, they are light. The fact that we have them naturally, we don't have to think behind why we have it in the first place. But our flaws tell us a different story because it reminds us of why we're having it in the first place. And it is emotionally charged because it isn't a good thing. It is something that we have to change, we have to improve. And even though I told you guys it is beneficial for us, it is beneficial when you start to understand your flaw. So, the reason why most people have so much shame, judge so much their flaws, it's because it is emotionally charged, and they're avoiding it because they know that they need to understand something from what caused it in the first place. Our qualities, our good qualities, we don't have to think why we have them. We're just happy to have them. The negative qualities, the flaws that we have, are telling us a deeper story. And not everyone wants to understand this deeper story. And that is why a lot of people avoid their flaws, avoid understanding that they have things to improve. But in the long run, this is just holding you back from improving yourself, from understanding things that you need to heal, and just from improving and being a better version of yourself. Also, another thing why we see flaws negatively is that fearing flaws will confirm our worst thoughts about ourselves. So this can make us realize that we're not as good enough, as confident as we believe we are. It's gonna make us face the parts of ourselves we've suppressed for a reason. And so avoidance becomes protection. But you cannot avoid yourself forever. You have to understand yourself so that you can not let this avoidance hold you back anymore, so you can move forward. Another thing is flaws protects you from a discomfort you don't think you can tolerate yet, or that you haven't tolerated yet. So, avoidance will protect you from fear. Perfectionist protects you from criticism. People pleasing protects you from conflict. So, another thing is we secretly fear who will be without it. So, one of the things is that we also believe that our flaws are our identity. And when we've been so long being a certain way, having those certain aspects of ourselves, it is hard because if you decide to look into it, to look into your flaw and do the inner work, what this will do, this will make you understand that you have to let go of this old identity of yours and grow it into a new one without those things, without those flaws, with the conscious awareness of understanding that now you have the power to change things. And that is scary for most people because this makes you realize that you have to take accountability, responsibility for your actions, and you cannot just blame it on your flaws that you weren't aware of in the past. No, now you have to take accountability for what comes next. And a lot of people avoid their flaws, avoid the things that they need to heal because it reminds them of that after they cannot rely on them anymore. They cannot continue making excuses about that's why they acted this certain way, about that's why they did this. So this is something scary for people. And sometimes as well, we don't believe we can change. And when you prove to yourself that you can grow into a new identity, you prove to yourself that you believe in yourself. And not everyone thinks that they don't have enough self-belief in themselves to think this way, to act this way, to implement those things. So let's talk. And also I want to say that those flaws could have gave you structure even when it hurted you. For example, the perfectionist that is protecting you from criticism because for so much time you have been getting judged for making mistakes. So this is protecting you from something. The people pleasing that made you think that love was supposed to be conditional, earned. This makes you think that being a people pleaser will make you avoid conflict. So you're not going to re experience those things that have hurted you in the past, that have made you feel a certain way. So they all tell us a deeper story, a deeper understanding of ourselves we have to face, we cannot avoid. Unless you just want to stay stuck in an identity that is never going to serve you and that is just holding you back from even understanding yourself. Understanding yourself is a great gift, even when it's scary, even when it's hard. It's a great gift. You will change, you will improve like you have never before, and you will have an understanding that a lot of people, an awareness and a consciousness that a lot of people don't have. Let's talk the solutions on how to understand plus use your flaws. You have to identify the pattern. When does this when does this flaw show up? What is the emotion behind it? Why am I feeling this way? You have to understand when it's coming up, and you will see that it's probably coming up in a lot of similar situations, in a lot of people that have certain character traits that are the same. You have to make the conscious inner work. And I am not telling you that your flaws are going to go away from one day to the next. No, that's impossible. Even me, I have things to work on. But I'm telling you that the moment that I started working on my flaws, it has helped me improve some valuable relationships in my life. And there's a lot of people that will never take accountability for their mistakes, for who they are, and that ruins a lot of relationship, a lot of valuable relationships they could have had, because all they needed to do in the first place was understand that they're not perfect. We No one is perfect, like literally no one is perfect. It's impossible. And we don't show that on social media, outside how we are. We always show ourselves in the best light. So it's normal that it creates shame, judgment around our flaws. But this doesn't mean that it is not out there, that people don't have flaws, that people don't have things to improve on themselves. We all do, whether we admit it or whether we don't admit it. You have after to turn it into skills and growth. What is impulsiveness learning you? It is learning you patience. What is people pleasing learning you? It is learning you the building boundaries. So people stop taking advantage of you. So you stop accepting everything out there. Perfectionism, what is it telling you? It is telling you to embrace the progress instead of trying to always control everything, to always perfection everything, because either way, there's nothing perfect. I struggle a lot with perfectionism, and I came to the conclusion that there's always going to be mistakes. Like, there's no point in me always trying to make it perfect, blah, blah, blah. I don't care anymore. I don't care. Avoidance, tolerance of discomfort, putting yourself in situations that are making you go out of your comfort zone. So you see how your flaws, and when you will implement those things and you will show to yourself that you can actually implement those things, that you believe in yourself, your confidence is gonna skyrocket. You're gonna believe in yourself so much after. You're gonna improve so much. Like, let me tell you that this inner work is worth it. It's so valuable. It is more valuable than being fucking delusional and thinking you don't have anything to change about yourself. Let's be fucking real. We all have. We all do. So thank you, my loves. This was an amazing video. I really hope you guys understood the importance of why your flaws shouldn't be avoided and why they're your biggest guider. And on that, I see you all in another video. As I always remind you guys, I believe in all of you. You deserve the best. You can do the best. It is just all in your mindset. in your actions that you show to yourself every single day. Thank you.